Hi, in this lesson, we will see about different settings available for the campaign after you create it. Let's see what they are. Going into the engine. So select any of the campaigns. Okay. So here I am selecting this one. So click on it. Go to the campaigns. Okay. And settings. So let's come one by one. What we will see from here. Right. Uh, yeah, it is loading. So first one is the name, right? So obviously, whenever you want, you can come here and change the name, right? So this is self-explanatory. So I'm not doing anything here. So next is the account goals. So we have to select the proper goals. When we create the campaigns, we have discussed it, right? It has to match with your objective. Let's say if you are a e-commerce client, it has to match with the purchase conversion action or purchase conversion goal. So if you are seeing any of the discrepancy, you can always come here and change according to the objective, right? You can see here uh, account default goals and campaign specific goals. We have discussed everything in the conversion action module, right? So again, after you change any of these goals, simply click on save, right? Next is the customer acquisition. So we have a dedicated lesson about customer acquisition and value rules. We will see it in detail in that lesson. Okay, so let's move forward. So next is the objective, right? So here also you have to be very prudent, because when you edit or when you create campaigns from the editor, and when you upload or when you post from the editor, so this marketing objective will not be selected, right? So whenever you do it from the editor, or whenever you create campaigns from the editor, so make sure that you come into engine and select the appropriate one, because the more signals you give to the algorithms, the better they will perform. So in the when you create this campaigns from editor, it will be like this, okay, with no goal guidance. So suppose if yours is a lead generation campaign, you can come here and select the leads. Okay, so if yours is a sales campaign, you select the sales, or you are simply focusing on the website traffic, you can select the website traffic. So giving this marketing objective is very important, because again I'm telling you, it will help the algorithms understand better, right? So after you give the marketing objective, simply come here and click on save. That's it. So next is the campaign status. There are three, right? There will be three. One is enabled, paused, and removed. So when you pause the campaign, you are again able to enable it. But when you remove the campaign, you won't be able to enable it. Okay, please remember this very carefully. So if you want to again enable this campaign anytime in the future, you just go ahead and pause. But when you remove the campaign, you cannot enable it again. Please remember this very carefully, right? So next is the networks. So we have been discussing about these networks, right? So here in the networks, we have search network, which includes the Google search partners, and the display network. So for the search campaigns, I have suggested, so it is not a good practice to have display network enabled, because the behavior, okay, the behavior of the audiences is different when it comes to the search and when it comes to the display. Because in the search network, people come and they search, but in the display network, we forcibly show our ads to the users. There is a lot of difference between the user behavior. So when you enable this display network for the search campaigns, it will be like a hybrid campaign. So as a best practice, I don't suggest to use display network for the search campaigns. And when you come to the search network, we have search partners. So you can test, you can run for a particular period of time, let's say for 3 months, and you can review the performance after you enable the search partners. Okay, so after enabling the search partners, if the search partners is performing well, you can continue with it. Or after 3 months of performance review, if the search partners is not performing well, you can come here and simply disable this one. Okay, so simply now what happens, our ads will be shown only on the Google search engine, not on the search partners, right? So you can experiment with the search partners, but I don't suggest enabling this display network. So I hope you are getting these logics. Okay, these are the simple concepts only. So next is the locations. We have a dedicated module for the locations, right? We can target our regions, our locations based on the business where we are shipping in case of e-commerce, or if you are providing any services based on the services we are providing, we can target the locations here, right? This is very self-explanatory, and we have a very dedicated class, so I'm not going into much into it. So this is a language where we can target a particular language speaking people, right? So, and next is the budget. So here we have to give budget. What is the budget for the campaign per day, right? So sometimes what happens, Google is able to spend 2 times of the budget, right? Let's say for a particular day, you have given a budget of 60 rupees here. But on that particular day, if you see the cost, it will be showing around 120 rupees. So on those days, don't get panic, okay? So Google can spend 2 times of the budget you have set, right? So I hope you will remember this one. But whenever you see an increase in cost, uh, don't get panic, okay? So it is obviously the algorithms rules, right? So next is the manual CPC. So it is a bidding strategy. So whenever you wanted to change the bidding strategy, you can obviously come here and click on change bid strategy, and you can choose whatever the bidding strategy you wanted to change it into, right? So it is up to you, and I'm not doing anything here. And this is automatically created assets. Again, we have a dedicated lesson for it, so I'm not going to discuss it now. So next is the start date and end dates. So we have discussed this start dates and end dates when we were discussing about the ad assets, also called as ad extensions, right? So there we can give a particular start date and end date. But when it comes to a campaign creation, the creation date itself is the start date. And obviously here you can set the end date. If you want, you can set the end date, or if you don't want to set the end date, you want it to run evergreen, you can simply click on none and click on save. This is simple. Okay. So next is the broad match. We have three match types, right? Exact match, phrase match, and broad match. Google always suggests using broad match so that it can able to bring conversions from a broad reach, right? So even after using broad match types, if you on, okay, if you on here, then the keywords in your match type change to the broad match, right? So but the problem here, if you see here, it is showing error. It is because in order to use this broad match, you have to use the automated bidding strategy. Okay, you are getting me right? Either you have to use maximize conversions, or you have to do use maximize conversion value in order to use this broad match keywords. Let's see once, right? Change into a bidding strategy, going here and giving the maximize conversions and save, right? And going to the broad match. Let's go to the broad match, and here you will be able to turn it on. So when you turn it on, even though you are using exact match or phrase match keywords, they will behave as a broad match keywords only, right? So I hope you are getting these points. So, so we have this broad match because again I'm telling you, Google can bring good traffic to your website if you are using broad match, right? So next is the value rules. Again, we have a dedicated lesson for value rules. I will be covering value rules along with the customer acquisition in the next coming classes. So I'm not going to discuss it now here. So next is the ad rotation. So we have discussed in the ads module, right? So there are two types. One is prefer best performing ads, and another is do not optimize, rotate ads indefinitely. So let's take an example. Let's suppose in an ad group there are two ads, ad 1 and ad 2. So what happens when a ad gets eligible, or when a ad gets triggered from those ad groups, each ad will be given equal priority. So one time ad 1 will be shown, and another time ad 2 will be shown. Likewise, each and every ad will be given equal priority if you select the second option. Okay, if you select the second option, each and every ad will be given the equal priority. And if you select the first option, optimize, prefer best performing ads, out of the two ads that you have enabled in the particular ad group, so the best performing ad will be shown to the users. So I hope you are getting these points. it is very simple. Okay, also this is very self-explanatory, but I always suggest go with the optimized best performing ad unless you have some specific conditions. I always suggest go with the first option. So click on save. And campaign URL options, this is also a very big concept, and I will be dealing with this in a separate module, right? So next is the dynamic search ad settings. We have seen what is these settings in the DSA module, right? So where we will be having some additional features or additional options where we can able to target the page feeds, all those conditions. So I'm not going here. We have dealt this in detail in the DSA module. So next is the IP exclusions. So when our ad appears, everyone in our team will be having that curiosity how our ads are appearing on the search engine results page, right? So what our team members will do is they will go ahead and type the queries related to us, and our ads will appear. So when our ads will appear, our team members sometimes will click on it and sometimes won't click on it. Even though they click on it, I don't think they will go ahead and buy those products, because the intention of our team members here is to see whether our ads are appearing on the search engine results page or not. But with doing this, while doing like this, it will impact the performance. When a user or one of our team members types a query related to us and he sees our ad, so what will happen? That impression will be recorded in the Google Ads, right? So he sees our ad, but if you don't click on it, what happens? Our CTR will be decreased. This decrease in CTR impacts the expected CTR. So this impacts the Google algorithms expected CTR. So when expected CTR will be increased, when expected CTR will be decreased, our quality score will be decreased. When our quality score will be decreased, we will not be able to win in the auction, because in the auction, what is the formula for ad rank? It is bid into quality score, right? So when our quality score will be decreased, there is less chance of winning in the auction. So you are understanding the chain, right? So in order to avoid such complications, right? In order to avoid such complications, we can exclude our team members' IP addresses, our members' computers' IP addresses here. Okay, so when we exclude them, our team members won't be able to see the ads in those respective devices. So I hope you are getting the logic behind using this IP exclusions. So you simply enter the IP addresses here and click on save. That's it, right? It is very simple. Next is the brands, right? Here we have two options. One is brand inclusions and another is brand exclusions. Okay, we will see what they are now. Earlier, this brand inclusions is called as brand restrictions. So actually earlier what happens is there was only brand restrictions is available for the search campaign, but this is a recent update where now we will be able to use both brand inclusions and brand exclusions. So brand restrictions is renamed as brand inclusions. Okay, so we will see what this is now. So in order to use this brand inclusion or brand exclusion, it has to be in the automated bidding strategy only. So you are getting me right? So again, I'm going into the bid strategy and changing this. Let's see. Change the bid strategy type. Go to manual CPC and save. Let's see. Okay. Going here. You see here, we are not able to add. We are not able to add. So we are able to add these exclusions, but we are not able to add the inclusions. So in order to use this brand inclusions, you have to be in the broad match. You have to be in the automated bidding strategy. Next, you have to be in the broad match. And next, you can use the brand exclusions. Let's see. Okay, here we have, let's go for the maximize conversions again. Maximize conversions, save, right? Here I have saved. So for the broad match keywords, I have turned it off. You see here it is turned off. So let's say whether they are available or not. See, now we are able to see. Okay, this is, I think this is a recent update. So previously what happens, In order to use these inclusions, you have to use both a automated bidding strategy and broad match keyword should be turned on. Okay, so now we are able to use these brand restrictions and brand exclusions with the automated bidding strategy. But as a best practice, I suggest you to on this broad match when you are using uh, brand exclusion or brand inclusions, right? So, or you can say like this: whenever you are using broad match keywords, this is turned on. You can use the brand exclusion and brand restriction options, right? So, what are these brand exclusions and brand restriction options? I mean, brand exclusions and brand inclusion options. So let's first see what is brand inclusions. Okay, let's first see this one. So broad match keywords usually attract more irrelevant traffic, right? So where there will be wastage of spend. As I told you, the best practice is using this brands list when you are using the broad match, this broad match setting on. Okay, so use this brand list only when you turn on this one. Otherwise, it is not needed, right? Again, it is your choice whether to use it or not, but obviously we have a choice of using this brand exclusions this time, right? So again, let's start again. So broad match keywords, they will bring irrelevant traffic, right? So with the irrelevant traffic, there will be a wastage of spend. To control this spend, we can use this brand inclusions, where we will define a list of brands and tell Google that even in the irrelevant traffic, you should show ads only to certain brands. So I hope you are getting this point. Let's take an example. Let's say you are Amazon and you are showing ads. Your ads are appearing for queries like Flipkart, Walmart, Alibaba, and Reliance. All these are irrelevant traffic, right? But here you want to tell Google that even from this irrelevant traffic, show my ads for the users who are searched for the brands like Flipkart and Walmart. So in the irrelevant traffic also, you wanted to tell the or you wanted to show the ads only to the users uh, who are searching like Flipkart and Walmart. So when you use the broad match keywords, so there is a more chance of your ads getting triggered to the irrelevant queries. Okay, that means like the competitor queries. So don't think that even though if you are using your brand term, your ads won't get triggered. They will get triggered to the competitor terms as well, right? So I hope you are getting this logic. So So when you apply the brand list, that means you are telling Google that along with your brand, Google will also show ads to the users who searches for the queries related to the brands like Flipkart and Walmart. Okay, if you are eligible, obviously. So now let's say you are a user has searched for a DMart and or DMart shoes. Even if your ad is eligible, your ad won't show your on the search engine results page because you didn't mention the DMart brand in the list, right? You are getting me? So I hope you are getting these points. Now, how will you add these brands? So for it, I'm duplicating this tab. Okay. So we have seen what is brand inclusions. So what is brand exclusions? So again, what is brand inclusion? So in the irrelevant traffic, you wanted to show the ads to those particular brands. That is the brand inclusion. So in the brand exclusion, you don't want to show the ads. So I hope you are getting one major difference. In the inclusion, you want to show the ads, and in the exclusion, you don't want to show the ads. I hope you are getting the difference, right? So let's see how we can create them. So simply go to the settings here, shared library, brand list. Here you can create the list and apply it to the campaigns. Create a list. Let's say here I wanted to use it in the inclusion. Okay, so let's say brand search inclusion. So let's try for the brands. So here we have discussed for the Flipkart, right? Cart. Yeah, this one. So I want to show ads only to Flipkart. Your ads won't show for the other brands. Okay, whatever the brands you enter here, your ads will be shown only to those brands. You are getting me right? So and click on save. Your list is created, and obviously you can come here and see, right? Let's refresh it. It will appear now. Let's wait a few more seconds. Go to the brands and see. You see here, you apply it. That's it. If you want, or if you don't want to show ads only to the Flipkart, then obviously we will be having this list here. So as we have used here, it is not showing, right? If you want, you can obviously come here and select it. It is up to you. Okay, so this is one very good strategy when you are advertising. Okay, so let's end this. So one major difference between brand inclusions and brand exclusions is, when you use brand inclusions, your ads will be shown only to those brands that you have specified in the list, right, along with your brand. And when you use brand exclusions, your ads will not show the ads to the brands you have included in the list, and your ads will be shown to the other brands which are not in the list. So I hope you are getting this reference, and I suggest you to go through these settings once so that you will get an idea of what these are. So we will meet in the next lesson.